Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Crew here on Box Gaming. So this is episode number 2, and I'm actually recording this before episode 1 has come out on the channel, so any feedback that you guys may have given me, I have not been able to implement that yet. As you can see, for some reason, it has put me into third-person view, and right about now, I'm thinking, something's different. What's different? I'm thinking to myself, this feels weird. Why does this feel weird? And then I think I'm suddenly about to realize, oh right, I'm not in cockpit view. There we go, as I go now into cockpit view. This is an arcade racing game, but if you're going to give me cockpit view in a racing game, then I'm going to use cockpit view. Really, the only racing games that I didn't use cockpit view for was F1 2012 and F1 2013. Since then, I have switched over to pretty much exclusively cockpit view. Big corner cut there, as you can see, trying to carry as much speed as somebody has just taken off into the distance. Obviously, I lost a significant amount of time in that awkward stage where I was in third-person view. I think also, if I remember correctly, my wheel was feeling a little weird. There's some strange things that go on with the Crew and my Logitech Driving Force GT racing wheel, where sometimes it's more sensitive, other times it's not so sensitive. It's a strange one. I just kind of deal with it though. I don't bother myself too much about it. I just go for it. So here we are, 7 checkpoints done already with this race. And we're already 2.7 seconds ahead of the next car, so it's looking like a pretty comfortable win for us here. And I believe this is in Chicago. I don't think this is New York. I believe this is Chicago, and actually that R34 Skyline has caught up to us a little bit there. Just under 2 seconds behind as we're about to go through the final checkpoint and then drive towards the finish line as I move to the left-hand side to avoid that giant van there. So it should be one more left-hand turn here, and then... Oh, no, it's 2 laps. That's right. This is a 2-lap race. I think this was actually the first race that I did that actually had laps involved, but you can see now the gap, 4.3 seconds. So pretty much dominating as we're coming into head-on traffic here on the highway, staying far to the left-hand side, and then moving back over to the right-hand side because, I don't know, I like living dangerously, I suppose. Exiting now the highway and going back into the city. 4.5 seconds is the gap to the next car behind, which is still that R34 Skyline. Just so you guys know, you can actually see the car level on the left-hand side there where it says my name, Moe Sukiru. Moe Sukiru is, the car level, excuse me, next to my name is 72. You can see the other cars in this race are 65, 66, and 61. So I do have the fastest car in this race. I can tell you later on in later episodes of this series, you will actually see me doing some races. Wow, that trash can went flying. I'm just now noticing that. That trash can went so far. I just punted that off into the distance. Over 7 seconds now, the gap, as we're coming to the end of the second lap now, past the halfway point. 9 seconds is the current gap, so this really doesn't seem fair at this point. I mean, I'm pretty much nailing these corners at this point, so... And I don't think there's any form of catch-up in this, in the Crew. You know, I don't think if you're in first place, like, your car moves slower. It's not like Grand Theft Auto Online or anything like that. Where your car moves faster the further behind you are. So, you know, I don't think there's any mechanic in place that would help the AI to catch up to me when the gap is that large. So I do end up winning by like 9 seconds or something like that. Total domination in my 370Z. And it looks like I'm going to be doing a little bit of work here. Yeah, I'm in the workshop. I got a couple of performance parts that I might be able to equip here. Going over to the gearbox. And yep, no, that's not actually better, so I'm gonna keep the one that I've got, and then I'm gonna go over to the motor core. Let's see, is this better? Yes, it is better, so I'm gonna equip that. And then I think I don't remember what else I do here because the car is fully tuned. As far as the aesthetics, the cosmetics of the car are completely done. There's nothing else. I'm not sure if you unlock more parts for the cars as you progress through the game. I really would hope that you do, actually. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. Oh, and there's my Viper. Oh, there's my Dodge Viper. Hello, Viper. How are you? So I am a big fan of Vipers. Obviously, it's an American kind of sports car, sort of like a Corvette killer or Dodge's response to the Chevy Corvette. And I really like them. I like the aggressive styling on them. They're just really out of this world. It's very easy to spot a Viper. You know, when you see a Viper on the streets, it's like, oh yeah, that's a Viper, no doubt about it. I'm going through the paints here. You can see, actually, there's only the official paint job, and I think that's because I haven't tuned it yet. So I can only change the color to these official colors, which is essentially the colors that the car comes in. And I'm thinking about maybe doing something black and white related, and then I ended up opting against that. I can change the interior, though, or can I? Is it going to let me? Oh, I can change it to aluminum, and that's it. The aluminum looks kind of nice there, actually. I'm surprised I didn't change it to aluminum. Plates here, the license plate, really not much customization that you can do, at least in the early levels. I'm not sure if you unlock more of those as those go on. And then comes the ridiculousness that is rims. There's like 100 different types of rims. I'm going to go for this 5-spoke black rims for my black Viper. On the left there, you can actually see very briefly, I already skipped over it, but you can see what upgrades are available for this car. And actually, this car, I believe, can only be a performance spec car or a perf spec car or a drift car or a drag car. I don't think it can do anything else. Here I am selecting my perks. So perks are another stage of this game where the RPG or the role-playing game part of it comes into play. So you select these perks and they give you bonuses. So I've gone for the bonus that gives you extra perk points, or it gives you a chance at an extra perk point. I'm pretty good at driving, so, you know, I've got a racing wheel and everything, so I'm not really going for perks that improve my cars. I'm going for perks that give me extra money, or give me extra experience, or give me extra perk points, stuff like that, because I figure the lower level that I get those perks, the more benefit I will get from them. And I'm in the Viper right now. Again, it has not been updated. It's bone stock at the moment, so I need to take this thing to a mod shop if I want to turn it into something else. And just doing some donuts in it, though. It's a sexy black Dodge Viper. Do you really need another reason to do donuts? You really don't. I love the side exhausts on it. I love that the car hasn't really changed since it came out, which I think was in the late 80s, early 90s or something like that when the Viper was first introduced. And it's obviously got a huge V10 engine in the front, tons of power, tons of torque. It's just completely ridiculous, and I'm a big fan of them, to be totally honest. They're not the best handling cars on the face of the planet, sure, I'll give you that, but they're just so sexy, and I really enjoy them. So here we have an interesting race where I believe I'm driving in a Porsche. I don't know what type of Porsche this is. To be totally honest, I apologize for that, but we're in some sort of Porsche supercar. This is some sort of race that's sponsored by Xfinity, which is an internet service provider here in the United States. Oh man, and there's just been tons of carnage. Pretty much everyone that wasn't in first place got taken out, and I really don't know who caused that or what the catalyst was for that, but everybody has been taken out, and that has promoted me up into second position. However, it's a pretty big gap up to the car in first. Oh, as somebody comes from the right-hand side, sideswipes some innocent civilian, he gets taken out, and then I go flying first place, and I just squeeze through that checkpoint ever so barely, getting through that checkpoint, and then we got a couple of actual corners here, so I had to use the brakes a little bit. Another tight left-hander here, using third gear as I come down the hill, getting some understeer, running a little bit out wide, puts me out of line for this right-hander. But I'm able to hold on to everything. Second place still right behind me, as you can see from the mini-map down at the bottom right-hand side. They are not far behind me whatsoever, using all of my NOS now. Shifting up into 6th gear. We got a fairly tight... Can I stick it in 6th? Yeah, I'm still in 6th gear through that sort of double right-hander into a very high-speed left-hander now. Very wide road. So I'm trying to use all of the circuit, quote-unquote. I'm trying to use all of the road. Really moving to the left-hand side. Oh, and I think I needed a big lift there. 5 seconds ahead of the next car as we're rapidly approaching the halfway point of this race. Moving to the inside on that pedestrian, or not pedestrian, citizen? No, not citizen. I don't even know what to call these regular peoples. Let's just call them normies. So I go flying by a couple of normies. There's another normie coming by on the left-hand side. And interesting, there's a truck parked on the side of that road there. We got a left-hand corner here. Is this going to be flat out in 5th gear? No, I had a little bit of a lift there. And then I'm going to use all of my NOS coming out of the corner to help me get into 6th gear. Going over 180 miles per hour on this very wide road. It should be mentioned, this is an extremely wide road. I mean, this is wide by Texas standards even. This is a pretty wide road. I think it's only 2 lanes as well. Maybe it's 3 lanes. Yeah, I think it's actually... No, it's only 2 lanes on each side, so it's a 4-lane road. Really not all that much. Past the halfway point of the race now, going 210 miles an hour, 8 seconds ahead of the next car as we go up and over that kind of jump there, and then through a very fast right-hander, another little kink right-hander right there, another very fast left-hander coming up after this checkpoint here. Some more normies in the way there. Get out of the way, normies. Get off the road. There are people racing. This is a much tighter corner relatively, and yeah, I've actually... Oh, and I just brushed that school bus there. Sorry, little kids. I've got some racing I got to do, so you guys are just going to have to put up with it. And there's a tight right-hand corner here going down into 3rd gear. Probably should be in 2nd gear, really, there. But I used NOS to help get the RPMs up and then up into 4th gear. 13.4 seconds ahead of the next car. And actually, looking at the left-hand side at the list of cars in this race, my car is, for some reason, tied for the highest level car in this race. I would think... with all these Xfinity cars that they would all be the same kind of level, but actually it turns out they're not. So I do have a little bit of an advantage. The only other person is Aran in 4th position. He also has a car level of 851, and this is a very difficult part of the city to be driving that fast, and I've just smacked right into that car head on, going God knows how fast. I did not even look down. I'm still 13 seconds ahead of the next car, but you can see it's very, very difficult driving through this part of the city. Very, very tight. You have to squeeze in between the 2 lanes. We've got the oncoming traffic. There's a bus that was coming by, and then we've got the traffic on the right-hand side as well, and you just have to kind of squeeze through as we have the drag now down to the finish. Cross the line at over 200 miles an hour, or just under 200 miles an hour, actually, and we do win that race pretty comfortably. So off to a good start in this video. I have won both races, and I have not had to restart either of those races, so that's off to a good start. I believe this is another raid spec vehicle. It looks like a Chevy Camaro. I think it's a Camaro. I'm pretty sure it's a Camaro. Anyway, so this is like a point-to-point time trial thing. You can see up at the top left, it says complete the ironclad dash. Very much off-road, and the jumps there throwing me off big time as we need to get back kind of on course to where we're going. Go to the left-hand side, run over some wildlife for good measure. Everybody's got to eat, you know. Just swing after the race, you know, I'll swing back over there, pick up that dead animal corpse, and cook that up for dinner. Yeehaw! And you can see what's directly in front of us, and that is a giant jump. Am I going to NOS up it? Nope, I don't use the NOS. I wasn't brave enough to actually NOS over the jump, but we land back down to earth pretty nicely there. Checkpoint is just up ahead, but it's to the right-hand side, so I need to move over to the right, and we're back off the road once again in this raid spec vehicle, going underneath the bridge as an airplane is flying overhead into the cornfields, and using a little bit more NOS in 5th gear here. I believe it's only a 5-speed transmission on this. Take that bounce a little bit weird, where the nose of the car pointing up at the sky. But we do end up keeping control of everything and just keeping pointed in the right direction. 3/4 of a mile still remaining, going through the trees. My hood getting all messed up, nearly hitting that parked truck there. And I think there was actually a jump that I could have utilized, but I did not. Finish line up ahead now as we're in 5th gear, going down the hill in between the trees, using what little bit of NOS that we had to power ourselves towards the finish line. And we are going to finish pretty comfortably within the allotted time there. So obviously that was, again, just sort of like a time trial thing. Where are we going to now? So we're back, excuse me. I was going to say we're back in the 370Z, but actually it looks like we're in another raid spec vehicle. This one, yeah, this is a truck. This is a truck. Oh, right. So for this part of the storyline, somebody's trying to kill me. So I'm trying to not die. That's like the mission for this quest, which, I mean, that's basically the mission in F1 2015 too. I mean, it's just try not to die. So we're driving through some cornfields. You can see at the bottom right-hand corner of the mini-map, these guys are just catching up to me. I'm driving in a straight line in this incredibly souped-up and ultra-powerful truck, and these guys are just like, no big deal. Yeah, I'm in a stock truck, but no, I'm gonna catch right up to you. Not a problem. Just catch right up to you. So I realized pretty quickly here that I'm not going to be able to just outrun them in a straight line. There's a blockade up ahead, a roadblock up ahead. I could possibly use that to my advantage as I just kind of thread my way through that. Hopefully that will run somebody out. It looks like there's one guy now just behind me, just one guy remaining. I've managed to lose everybody else, but for some reason this guy's in some kind of godlike, god-tier level of stock truck. God knows what's in it. Oh, but he's hit something, actually. Yeah, he has run into something and just dropped off the face of the planet. R.I.P. guy in that truck. And you can see up at the top in the middle the number of seconds until we evade whoever is, Troy's crew is what it says up at the top left. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have managed to avoid Troy's crew. So here we are moving on to another actual race here this time, in a street race, going up against what looks like a Camaro, a Focus, and a truck. I don't know why there's so many trucks in these street races. I guess Americans like trucks, but it should be easy pickings for my Nissan 370Z. And not a great start, as you can tell. I think there's a lot of wheel spin in my 370Z at the launch. I don't think it gets very good off the line. Going around the outside, though, at turn number 1 of that truck, and then getting a great exit. That's going to put us alongside the Ford Focus, and now the Camaro. We've got the inside line. And we're just going to kind of push him out wide. And I've decided I'm going to take a shortcut. Go through the sunflower field. Yes, straight to the checkpoint. What's the worst that could happen? And it's actually worked out fairly decently. It wasn't, you could still see them on the minimap, but it's actually worked out pretty well. So, again, you can see shortcuts proving to be quite useful in the crew. And we are really pulling away now. I think these guys are starting to squabble amongst themselves. You can't even see them on the minimap anymore as we're accelerating through 4th gear now, through yet another checkpoint on this dirt road. We're about to meet up with some asphalt, though. There we go, onto the asphalt, getting some understeer when we hit that asphalt, actually. And then accelerating our way towards this left-hand corner. Got a normie in the right-hand lane, so I imagine we're going to be taking the inside line. Yes, we do. And come out of the corner quite nicely, using another squirt of NOS. I should have shifted up into 4th gear and then used the NOS there, rather than NOSing in 3rd gear and then shifting. That's really not what you want to be doing. You want to be using the NOS towards the lower end of your RPM. That way you're not wasting NOS in between gears. Because obviously the NOS continues to deploy even when you're shifting from 3rd to 4th. So you really want to try to avoid using the NOS when you're shifting or about to shift very soon. So ideally you want to shift up to a gear and then just use all of your NOS. 3 seconds ahead of the next car as it stands right now. 2 checkpoints still remaining as we're 1 minute and 45 seconds into this race. Getting a little bit on the inside corner there, picking up a little bit of the dirt and grass, which really doesn't help you keep the speed up. 1.6 seconds now is the gap, though, to the car behind. And actually, once again, looking on the left-hand side, you can see the car levels of myself and the opponents. You can see my car is now level 116. 116. The next car level on that list was 85, and the other 2 guys were even lower than that. One guy was in the 80s, one in the 70s, one in the 60s. So I mean, that really wasn't even that fair. So I don't even know why I was going up against them. But again, they do get harder. So again, looking on the left-hand side, look at the car level of my opponents: 82, 78, 76, and 66. Meanwhile, my car is level 122. That really doesn't seem fair. Oh, God! And I've driven straight into an oncoming car. I was sort of in the slipstream of that Nissan R34 Skyline, and he was obstructing my view of the oncoming traffic. He moves out of the way at the last possible second, and I just plow straight into a car, and I've hit another minivan, 2 minivans in a row, and I have decided, you know what, that's probably karma, or I don't know what that is exactly, but I'm gonna restart it because I really don't want to put up with that. So starting that same race once again, just because again you get medals for these races, and the medals that you get give you better car parts. And yes, my car is kind of overpowered as it stands right now, but still I want the best for my car, which means I really want to try and get a gold medal. And to get a gold medal, you need to be in first for an extended period of time during the race. Like, you can't just win the race, you have to get into first and hold on to first for quite a long time in the race. And this is a very sticky situation I've gotten myself into. There was 3 cars there in the oncoming lane, and one of them was off-center, I assume, hit by one of the 2 cars in the lead. And that kind of made this weird sort of wedge triangle area that I had to squeeze my car through. Really didn't help. I'm still in 3rd position. quite a gap to the cars behind, and I am actually closing on the next couple of guys. I take a big corner cut there, accidentally clip the back of that Focus, and he just goes spinning off into the barrier. Big apologies to Mr. Focus driver. Got a very tight double right-hander here, and traffic is moving as well. I believe it's a Mustang. The Mustang runs into the van, and then the van gets pushed to the right-hand side, gets in my way. But I do end up actually coming out on ahead out of that. And I'm just driving through some lights. I've hit a parked car. This is just really not my race. This is not going how I would plan it whatsoever. About halfway through the race right now, accelerating towards another checkpoint. Over 4 seconds, currently the gap to the next car. Keeping to the middle area, because actually I kind of like driving down the middle rather than trying to squeeze through 2 cars in the right side. I tend to just prefer to go right down the middle, and I don't really have an explanation as to why. It's just sort of that's my preference. Clunking my way through those garbage bins once again. Through the checkpoints, another left-hander, another 90-degree left-hander here. I can't say, I wish there was fewer 90-degree corners in some of these early races, but, you know, that's the area of the map that you are currently in. You're in a city that is made up of predominantly right-hand corners, 90-degree right-hand, no, just 90-degree corners, right-hand, left-hand, it doesn't matter. They're all 90-degree corners. We go through another one there, nearly run into a tree, running up on the sidewalk, 2.6 seconds to the car behind, just 2 more checkpoints remaining in this race, and you can actually see the cars at the bottom right on the mini-map closing in fairly quickly. So I do need to sort of be careful as I'm going once again in between oncoming traffic and the traffic on the right-hand side. I'm sure this is a little confusing for people outside that are in the UK or Italy. I think Italy has right-hand drive too. I could be wrong about that, actually. I think that's a misconception I've had about Italy for a while, but I'm sure that can be confusing for you right-hand drive people. I know Japan and England have right-hand drive vehicles. I'm not sure about other places. So here we have another kind of point-to-point time trial race, this time in a Raid Spec 370Z. So it's the same car as my car. It's another 370Z, but this is a Raid Spec 370Z. You can see it's got the giant off-road tires. So not to be confused with Dirt Spec. So Dirt Spec is sort of like a rally car. Raid Spec is sort of like a Dakar rally. You know, like those really giant things that are designed to go off jumps and stuff like that. So, you know, it's the difference between like a regular rally car and like a Dakar rally car. I don't follow Dakar, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, yes, I remember this one now. That jump that I just went through, I couldn't seem to take that jump normally. You could see it completely threw me off as I was jumping through that stream. It just completely threw off the car, threw it towards the left-hand side, and I was forced to restart. And I think you're going to see me do the exact same thing once again. You know, I really want to be flat out through that stream, that body of water. I really don't want to be lifting at any point if I can avoid it, but this car just really didn't take the bumps all that well. So here we go, right there, boom, landing down in the stream, throws me immediately into a tree. I don't know what to do about that. I'm very sorry, but I figured just keep trying. Eventually, it's got to take the bounce properly. I did try to adjust my approach towards it. So you can see I was a little bit more to the left-hand side of the stream that time, whereas the last time I believe I was a little bit to the right-hand side. So this time I'm going to try to go right down the middle, and it did bounce very weird, but the nose kept pointing in the same direction, so I was able to make it through that time on a dirt road now, and we're going to have a nice right-hand corner here. I believe this is a little bit of a lift and actually a downshift as well. Short gears, obviously, for the Raid Spec vehicles, as I was only in 4th gear there, not even going 100 miles an hour, which, you know, with a lot of cars, you could do that in 3rd gear pretty easily, even with the Street Spec cars. Really not sure where to turn, as you can see. I could not find where to turn right there. I had no idea where they wanted me to go. I really wish it was a little bit better of some arrows telling you where to turn right for that part of the circuit. And this is what I'm talking about. You see, I'm going 90 miles an hour in 4th gear. I probably should downshift actually at this point. Down into 3rd gear. As you can hear, the RPMs are not very loud, but instead I decided, oh, this is a pretty tight left-hand corner. I ran out a little bit wide there, hit the barrier, but we are going to continue on and cross the line and hopefully not run into that bear that was in the background there. I don't want to murder any bears with my Raid Spec 370Z, please. And that is that one completed. And again, we're just rapid fire. We're just going through these very, very quickly. I'm not looking to spend too much time, you know, on the storyline stuff or what medal did I get and stuff like that. No, this is pure action 100% of the time. I'm going to show some of these cutscenes, though, because some of the cutscenes aren't the worst. I do kind of regret leaving this one in here, to be totally honest. This is awkward. I'm regretting leaving in this cutscene now, but it's too late. I'm not going to bother editing this out. This is going in the video. And I do apologize, but it's going in the video. So we have another raid spec race going on here, this time in another car that has been provided to me. So obviously this is not my raid spec car. You can see going up against a number of other raid spec cars, which usually means there's going to be a lot of jumps. Sort of like a Baja off-road type vehicle with the extra tires on the back end there. Same thing for the Hummer, actually. You can see he's got a couple of spare tires. Are those spare tires on the back? Yeah, it looks like they are. And it always seems like I'm struggling off the line in these in the races, regardless of what car I'm in. I really don't know. Some guy on the left-hand side there trying to, I don't know, muscle me out of the way. I'm really not sure what that was all about. Currently in 5th position out of 8 people. I do not have the most powerful car, actually. Wow, just going around, right around the outside of a number of cars. They're almost briefly taking first position, and I believe I am going to take first position now ahead of that Hummer. Yes, I am into first, so this race is already going quite well. There's only 6 checkpoints in this race, but I was able to get into first place before the 3rd checkpoint, so less than around 2/3 of the way into the race, or 1/3 of the way into the race, excuse me. So we're into the lead right now, and we've actually got a pretty healthy gap. On the left-hand side, though, you can see my car is level 752, and a couple of the cars are actually level 754. So for the first time, I am not in the most powerful car, but it's not far off. It's only 2 levels below. I'm sure there's really not much of a difference, but you can see we're already at the finish. We're only 1 minute and 17 seconds into this race right now, and we're already approaching the finish. Pretty easy race right there on that one. I seem to remember doing that race in the beta and actually having trouble with it. And now I can't remember why. I have no idea why I struggled with that one. But see, this is just a cool little cutscene where you see the cars all crossing the finish line, and I continue down the road, and the other guys pull off to the side. So that's why I've included. Yeah, that's another cool cutscene. You know, there's just an airplane flying overhead as I am driving through at the airport, driving underneath another airplane here. This is an interesting mission. This is one of those missions where I have to take out the target. I always seem to struggle at these. I don't know if it's the mentality, or if I'm just an idiot, or if it's a combination of the two, or if maybe these are just genuinely hard. I don't know. Maybe other people struggle with these types of races as well. But you can see we're at the airport. Yeah, we're definitely at the airport as an airplane comes landing right in front of us. And they take a right-hand corner, and I have gone very wide. I'm trying to carry as much speed, and it has just not worked out. You can see the distance between myself and the target has actually grown. There's less than a minute remaining, and I haven't even touched this person yet. Haven't even touched them yet, and there's only 50 seconds remaining now. They take a left-hand corner, and I've just completely overshot it. Once again, have not even touched them yet. 43 seconds still remaining in this, and I have not even done 1 point of damage to this Dodge Challenger? Is it a Charger? Oh, and something has hit me. I have no idea what it was, but something hit me. And I took that as a sign from God that I just need to restart. I was just driving in a straight line, and something spun me. Some sort of invisible plane or invisible fire truck? I really don't know. I'm not sure what caused that spin. It was a very strange one. So we're going to try this one more time. You can see I immediately get off the grass because I feel like the grass in a street spec car is really not helping your straight line speed or acceleration. So I just immediately go for the asphalt. Up and over, a little bit of a bump there. Back onto the asphalt now as we're driving head on into this airplane that's landing. No fears. Braking now down into first gear and taking a much tighter line. And it was at this moment that I kind of realized that the target is doing the exact same things that the target was doing before. So I know that he's going to be taking a left-hand turn up here. And then after that, it's going to be another left-hand turn. So you can see he moves to the right-hand side, and I just, boom! Slam! That's got to be a lot of damage. Oh, God, and something else has hit me. I don't know what that was. Something lifted me up, and I believe he has 1 health. So that one hit did 34 points of damage to that guy. And here we go. I just need to clip him all, and I just barely missed. Drop it down into second gear, and I'm just trying to get back close to him. I really just need to bump him, just the smallest nudge. And this race will be over, or this mission will be totally over. So I'm just really trying to get in close to him, and oh god, where does it go? There we go, I got him. There we go, and he goes for a little bit of a tumble, nearly lands on all four wheels. Is he gonna stay? Yeah, he does land on all four wheels, and so that is that mission over. And
Got his ID?
gonna be.
Get over to the track.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna be. Oh, that's right. And now I'm gonna be. I stole his license. So that guy was a race car driver. I stole his racing license. Now I've stolen his race car, and I'm at some sort of oval circuit. I don't know what oval circuit this is supposed to replicate, but it's some sort of oval circuit. I'm in a modified Ford GT40, which actually no, yeah, it's just called the Ford GT these days. Sorry. I'm so used to just calling it a GT40, but it's just the Ford GT these days. So I'm in a modified Ford GT. This is another sort of point-to-point race. What I learned with this one was try to move the steering wheel as little as possible. You can see it's very, very sensitive, though. Just the slightest movement, and it really changes the trajectory, the nose of the car. So I'm trying to save my NOS for the exit of corners. You're in 7th gear the whole time, no matter what, even through the corners, even towards the apex when you're at your slowest. And then as you're coming out of the apex is really when I try to get on the throttle. I believe these checkpoints are at the halfway point of the at the corners. Oh, as I've brushed the barrier a little bit there, that scrubbed up a little bit of speed, not too bad. I believe I only got down to 193 miles an hour, and then thanks to NOS, I was able to quickly get back up to around 207 miles an hour, approaching 215 miles an hour across this checkpoint. Now, over 215? No, not quite, as we get into another left-hander. Surprise! Another left-hander! Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? As we're accelerating now towards the finish. Once again, using that NOS, coming out at the exit of the corner, and we are going to cross the line with tons of time to spare, as it's just now getting down to 10 seconds, 8 seconds, a little over 7 seconds to spare as we cross the line. And now, I believe, I get to steal this car. I don't get to keep it, but I do get to steal this car, which means I now get to drive it on the streets. And once again, though, my, wonderful slow-mo drift, which makes no sense. That drift made no sense. There's no bearing in reality or physics with that drift, but it doesn't matter. This is the crew. And also, these very bone stock-looking cars are somehow able to keep up with a modified Ford GT that's capable of going 215 miles an hour. Yeah, I guess that's hashtag the crew logic. So once again, I am needing to escape Troy's crew. Ugh, Troy is just always sending his crew after me. That dick. As we just slice our way through those two cars. That was pretty incredible. You can see we've got one car still behind us, but he just got taken out, actually. So there's no cars behind us, but we took that corner very poorly, and we ran into a tree as well. One of the cars now starting to catch up behind us. Looks like he's run into a tree as well. We've just about got out of the range of that helicopter on our left-hand side, but then he managed to catch up to us. So quickly, I realized, okay, helicopter clearly is very fast in the air, so I need to make a sharp left-hand turn if I want to avoid this helicopter. Unfortunately, I made a sharp left-hand turn into the woods, and this modified Ford GT40 really does not like accelerating through grass, as it turns out. Who would have seen that coming? And that helicopter is just looking at me like, yeah, no, I still see you, man. You're not fooling anyone. You're not fooling anyone right now. You are not fooling. So I've decided to retry, because that did not go well whatsoever. That is not what I wanted. And I mean, it pretty much went wrong right from the get-go. As soon as I squeezed through those two tight cars and went through that right-hand corner, it was pretty much over with right there. Once again, though, gonna go past the blockade. It does look like, yep, there is one car that was ahead of me. He's now out of the way. And look at that. I've already got them out of my range. Already. That was incredibly fast. I think it was about 10 seconds into the mission, and I got them away. So now I'm just driving in a straight line. and there's no way they're going to catch up to me at this point. I used all of my NOS once I got into this road, approaching 200 miles an hour now. 7 seconds until we lose them, and then this mission is done. And that's actually going to do it for this episode. So that is episode 2 of The Crew completed. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, leave me any sort of comments if you guys have requests, if you want to see less missions, if you want to see less cutscenes, if you want to see more cutscenes, if you want to see challenges, you know, whatever you guys want to see from this. I'm happy to show you because I'm recording the whole time that I'm playing it. And right now, I'm just kind of choosing the content that goes into the videos. But you guys are very welcome to dictate that content. So if there's anything particular that you guys would like to see from these videos, please let me know in the comments. If you don't want to see these videos, then don't watch them, because I'm going to keep uploading them. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
She's so mean, she